Anyone ever found a body? What's that like? One night I was out walking my dog along the country road where a ditch accompanied the road either side. As I was walking, my dog started going mad trying to tug away from his lead to this ditch, so I wanted to see what it was. It ended up being a corpse, so I called the cops. They found out that a gang murder happened in a city about 40 miles away, and one of the members thought a small village would be a great place to put it. I worked at a retirement home for about a year, more specific at the dementia part of the house, and we had one man who every day was worried sick for his wife, who has been dead for 8 years. On his birthday, both of his daughters showed up and talked and showed a lot of pictures. He didn't remember his daughters, but he recognized his wife. Tears of joy, he watched pictures and untold stories. The morning after, when I went to wake him up, he was dead. He had a big smile on his face and it was somehow very, very beautiful. Found my dad dead, heart attack, one morning as a 7-year-old. Then when I was 8, I found my grandfather dead, hit his head, into a tub full of water, one morning. I'm so sorry you had to see that, and at such a young age too. Were you counseled after that at all? Did you receive any support afterwards? Went to check on my uncle because he'd not been heard from. I knew before I got the front door open that he was dead by the smell. He was in his recliner. Drank himself to an early grave. I found a full family, father, mother plus 2 kids, dead in an upside-down car on a dark road. I was at the shooting range once, my first time actually, and an older gentleman shot himself in the stall closest to the door. Everyone had to walk right past his body to evacuate. Gruesome. It looks more disturbing in real life than the movies, and everything moved more slowly once I saw it. I was just getting comfortable with my weapon when they called a ceasefire, and I stood there wondering what had happened. Suddenly it was calls of everybody get out. Now. Go. Go. Pretty terrifying when you can't initially see what's on either side of you because of the lane barriers, and you're wondering what the hell happened so bad we're evacuating. Then just really sad to realize what happened. There was a kid there about 10 years old with his dad and brother. Hate it. I used to work at this sports bar, so it wasn't uncommon for people to leave their car in parking lot for a day or two. After having a couple days off, I come into work and this car that was there a day before my weekend started is still parked in the same spot. I tell me boss about it and go check it out. As I get close to the car, the smell hits me like a truck. Some guy committed suicide in his car during a heat wave in the middle of summer. I call the cops and tell my boss. When the police arrived, I was asked to make a statement. While I was doing this, the paramedics showed up to remove the body. They got this bloated, rotten corpse halfway out of the vehicle when it just fell apart, splattering on the pavement. I'll never forget that effing smell. Came across a drunk driving accident. Probably happened a minute or two before we drove up to it since no one else was there, and it was on the highway. 65 miles per hour speed limit. It was awful. Called the cops and went to see if we could help, but they were clearly dead. One had been ejected out of the windshield and was lying on the highway. The driver turned out to be 20 years old. Really sad. My granddad was a few months shy of 90 and still lived by himself. He was pretty spry. My mom called him every morning. One day he didn't answer, so she called me to go over and check on him. They lived about 40 minutes away and I lived about 5 minutes away. I let myself in and found him in his easy chair holding his phone. He was cold. My dad showed up in about 20 minutes and we both cried. I called the police and they came in, checked it out and did us a favor of calling the funeral home we asked. My dad said he was talking with him about 9 p.m. the night before and said he was sounding groggy, so he said good night, and granddad must have rested and passed. He was a great guy. In November of 2004, I had a very best friend who lived 3 blocks from me. We were both managers of the same restaurant, but I had recently graduated from college and had started my career path, but still worked with him on weekends and school vacations. One freezing cold Monday night, the restaurant called saying he hadn't shown up for work. I had a key, so my roommate and I walked over. Upon entering his apartment, he was dead on the couch after taking more than 1 bottle of Ambien and a handle of vodka. I don't remember all the details of what I remember from the scene or what it looked like. I'm paying a lot of money in therapy to forget. We found a body washed up in the rocks on the beach. I was taking photos of vultures because they were sitting on the rocks and they were pretty large. I first saw his distended stomach and followed it down to his foot. I grabbed my husband and said, "That's a body." "Is that a body?" "Oh my gosh, that's a body." After double checking, we walked away to call 911. Checking a third time, from a different angle, I saw some of his skull missing and the unmistakable human hand. Somehow, We were able to get cell service long enough to tell the 911 dispatcher which state park we were in. Ambulance, firefighters, state police, a Coast Guard helicopter, truck and boat all showed up. It was amazing to watch. They carried him up in a body bag, placed him on the asphalt and left him there for 30 minutes. It was just another day to first responders. Oddly, we are thankful to have found him because he was on part of the beach no one ever crosses the river to get to. The tide was coming in when he was pulled out. Had we not found him, when we found him, the crabs and vultures would have finished him off. His family would have never had answers. I don't know his name or anything other than what we witnessed. We are fine. Our trauma of finding a body is nothing compared to what his family would have endured, never knowing what happened to him. Got back to my girlfriend's house after doing some grocery shopping for her mom, and when we went inside, something was off. Found her older brother with slit wrists in the tub just about the time their mom pulled into the driveway. It was unpleasant. I went to California for a vacation, 2002, and naturally we went to see San Francisco. Walked over the Golden Gate Bridge and there's this lookout point you can see it all from. While looking at the bridge it looked like someone dumped a rolled up rug from the bridge. No one around me reacts, so I figure I must be right. My family and I go walk across the bridge and I look at the point I saw the rug. There was a body on the cement below. I just looked at it for a long time trying to think of a way this isn't real. My dad had seen the person jump but he wasn't sure either. We both kind of snapped back to reality at the same time and just looked at each other. They told us to sit and wait for them. As soon as my dad hung up the phone he went to his knees and had a bit of a breakdown. I didn't know how to handle it and didn't do or say much about it. Once the police arrived they said they were sorry we saw that on our vacation but it happens at least once a week. That blew my mind, that so many people go to the Golden Gate to kill themselves. I was only 12 so I didn't process the death like an adult would. I felt disconnected from it and to this day it doesn't feel like it was real but more of a video someone showed me. Our town's baseball fields for Little League is in front of a small fence row of woods with an interstate on the other side. One hot day in July, like 90 degrees all week, everyone at the game started smelling something awful. A couple of the dads and coaches went to go look and there was a DAD guy on the interstate side of the fence row. I guess a trucker broke down and was walking for help and died of heat stroke. I was playing baseball and never actually saw but still a crazy day. I found my dad after he hung himself. It was obviously extremely traumatizing and has taken a lot of therapy. I still get triggered if a movie shows a hanging scene. But I'm doing a lot better. Found 4, all at once. Well, actually, the 4th body had been jammed so far under the front passenger seat that I didn't see it. Wear your dang seatbelts, people. Thanks for watching Reddit Hero. Like and subscribe for more amazing Reddit stories. Also don't forget to share these stories with your family and friends. Click a video below to continue watching our previous Reddit stories.